What is up, everybody? Welcome to the 2021 Duels episode 14, is what it should say on my little scoreboard there. How's it going, everybody? Happy America Day. Happy July 4th, where we celebrate our independence from Big Pimpintosh. And I hope everyone's doing well. I am great. Me and some friends have been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 lately, so that's been pretty good. But yeah, other than that, we've got episode 14. I keep thinking of like episode 2 of the summer open, I should say. And yeah, we got a lot of matches to get through here today. We're going over to some friends' houses after this for the little July 4th party. Some burgers and beers and that sort of thing. So cool. Yeah, let's get into this. We're going to start things off with Strife Sada. I have never heard of Strife Sada, so maybe a newer player into the scene. And they are going to be up against TnTTV in stage number 1. Just a quick little bam. Here is what's going on in stage number 1 here. So no Fox, no Wolf, no Lizard. Basically no Swift units. Really big maps with low economy structures. And you can't use the same units in game number 2, if there is a game number 2, than the first one. Just a quick recap on what we're kind of doing here and what the format is. This is one of the gentleman's kind of crazy tournaments. We're not really playing proper Tooth and Tail. This is more of a fun thing where there's a lot of rules imposed, and it's a gauntlet where the challengers start off with 4 lives and try to make their way as far as they can get to compete for points for the kind of like the championship later on in the year is what's going on. So if you're maybe new to Tooth and Tail, maybe you pick this up on a Steam sale or something, you will see some competitive things, and I'll talk about some high-level competitive strategies or concepts that are happening within these games. But these games are not your average ladder match where we're random, well, not random deck, but you choose a deck, you don't know what your opponent's playing. They're very kind of scripted's not the right word, because it's not wrestling. Like, we don't know who's going to win, but there's a lot of constraints going on. We have 3 USA challengers today, man. What's up, Ghost? What's up, Tander? Yeah, can't stay today, got some plans, dude. All good, man. Yeah, I honestly don't expect a ton of viewership today. It is July 4th, so a lot of people probably shooting off fireworks and cooking burgers and that sort of thing, but I think a lot of people kind of check out the VODs and check out the YouTube anyways, so we still want to keep this content being produced here. So let's get it going. We got a lot of matches to get through today, and I'm hoping I can get through everything. As long as I don't get burnt out, we'll be good to go. So let's start it off. Dude, tell me a little bit about Strife Sada, gentlemen. Are they a new player? Only those in the U.S. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And to be fair, a lot of the Tooth and Tail community and scene in general are actually outside of the United States. But in the bottom, we've got Strife Sada and their opponent to the right, TnTTV, playing under the handle of Mini here. So again, on this stage, it's just really big maps with not a lot of gristmills, no campfires, and no Swift units. So no Wolf, no Fox, or Lizards. So one thing that's kind of a challenge, and we've seen it be the bane of players in these early matches here, is being able to find your opponent. Now, scouting is so important, especially when Tander has been kind of doing this sneaky bull rush, and it looks like it's going to work against Strife Sada. Now, the main way you figure out your opponent's going for a mole rush is you got to scout their main, and you're like, okay, they're missing farms, they're missing warrens, they got to be doing something on the map, and Strife hasn't been able to find the opponent's main yet, but still very smartly goes ahead and throws down like a safety warren there. I like it a lot. Meanwhile, TnTTV here, what was it? It's 6 moles, right? That's all you need. If Tander is just patient and waits for the 6 moles. Now, Strife did not go for an 8 farm double or anything. They did build early squirrels. Strife is a super new player, very cool. Awesome. Yeah, really glad to have you, Strife. And yeah, so far you're playing fantastic. This is the correct thing to do, but is Tander just gonna win with the mole rush? This is his kind of calling card here. He's gonna go in, but there are some squirrels here to defend, and Strife will barely hold off. Oh my god. Oh man. Alright, Tander's gonna double down. Strife is still trying to figure out what's going on. Tanner just needs a couple more hits on this Gristmill. Oh, and the commander goes down. Strife, find the Warrens, man. Find the Warrens. No. They're right here. He's looking. He or she. They're looking. Oh, man. And this is like the perfect little spot to Mole Rush to. Okay, very smart from Strife. Okay, finds the Warrens. I really like taking that other Gristmill, though, because Strife kind of realized, all right, the way I lose this game is if these moles kill my mill, so let me get another one, and is able to hold it. Is Tanner just going to tap out? And he does! And Strife takes a great game. Awesome job by Strife. You could tell a little bit that they were new as they couldn't quite figure out what was going on with the moles, but they still handled it very, very well. And honestly, I think what won that game there for Strife was the 6-farm Warren. I think that was very, very smart. You know, kind of went around. I think they scouted twice in the early game, still couldn't find the opponent, so they said, you know what, let me go ahead and grab a safety Warren, and that just in case something crazy's happening, and that indeed won them the match. So very nice there from Strife. Okay, in game number 2, we're going to be up against Cactus here. Strife still has all their lives left. And basically against Cactus, how it works is you only have 3 units in your deck, and it's a little bit of a ban and a draft phase. And we don't have all the information on how that went down. A couple units get, 3 units are randomly banned by the boss, actually. And then it's like, I'll pick 1, you pick 2, I'll pick 2, you pick 1. And then in the second game, you can't use any of the units that were used in the first game, if there is a second game. Yeah, the safety Warren was fantastic. Very good. All right. Let's get into it. Game number 2 here. Continuing Strife's journey through the bosses. And all right. All right, I already like Strife over here on the right with the Toad, Pigeon, Boar. I'm about it. On the left-hand side, we've got lizards and ferrets and chameleons coming out of Cactus. Cactus has the better deck on paper. You know, I don't think that the ferrets are, you know, they can be fine, but really when I look at Cactus's deck, I'm thinking about the lizards and then going into the chameleons later on. Now, I wonder if what happened was like Cactus picked the lizards first, and in response, Strife went Pigeon, Toad? Maybe? Because generally, like, the Toad's kind of the counter to the lizard, you know, in a lot of cases, but it's always rough when you don't have that core unit, you know, that core squirrel or core lizard to kind of get everything together. Those are like your bread and butter units, and the Toads can make it work. It would be super cool to see something like Strife just knock out a Gristmill with some Toads or something like that, but let's see how it goes. My overlay's a little transparent, and I'm not sure why. It kind of doesn't look bad, though. Let me see as this game kind of goes up. I don't know. It's fine, right? I don't know why it's a little transparent, but it seems fine. Maybe I'll deal with that before next stream. Okay, so Strife. Yeah, all right, dude. I love this guy already. Going for the 1 base tier 3. Cactus still hasn't spotted it. Going for the double cam though. Double cam. This would be very risky if it was like a regular game, opening 8 farm into double tier 2. But since we have these kind of wonky restrictions, Cactus will be able to get away with it. Strife is going right up for that boar. And Cactus will get the scout on it. That's very important. But doesn't have a lot of great units against the boar. I think Cactus really should just be spamming out the cams. You know, maybe if you get enough surface area with enough chameleons, you can just blap down that boar pretty quickly. The boar traditionally is going to be very good against stuff like lizards. So I'm not sure. Maybe Cactus... I think what would be really smart from Cactus would be to build just a couple lizards like they have to try to tank the hits from the Toads. Because I think what Strife is going to try to do here is blow up the chameleons with the Toads, right? And then just kind of mow down everything with the boar. And honestly, I think it could work. I'm not sure. We don't see a lot of, like, chameleon versus boar. At least I haven't. So I'm not sure what that magic number is where it's, oh, but he's going to try to sneak in the cams and kill the Warren. before the boar's out, and I think this is gonna work. Strife needs to move his toes over, but is it even gonna be enough? Strife does not realize what's happening, and that's gonna be a dead boar Warren. Ooh, feels bad, man. Can he at least try to unstealth? Oh, you gotta stand still for a full second for the unstealth to work. Oh, actually, gets a couple hits, but I would still say worth, because a lot of toads died, and only one cam, and also got that farm there, so Strife knows what's up, is gonna tap out. And, okay, another thing to consider on stage 2 is you can't use any of the first game units, so Strife is gonna lose just 1 life here, no big deal. And the way it works, by the way, is you can only lose twice on 1 boss. So let's say Strife loses again here, he's gonna advance to the 3rd stage with 2 lives left. So let's keep her going here. Yeah, that was a rough play. I was hoping that Strife would have, like, unstealth the cams and kill them with the toes. I don't think they even had enough toes to begin with, and, you know, that's something kind of high level for a newer player. But over on the left-hand side, we've got Strife, and over on the right, we've got Cactus. Now, this time around, I like Strife's deck. Snakes are very powerful. You know, I honestly think MGs are very powerful too, but the moles should be able to handle those. It's tough, man. I think both these decks are pretty good. Like, the Skunk Snake is going to scale very nicely. Like, yeah, Cactus is missing that kind of bread and butter tier 1 units. Oh, this would be very smart from Strife to go for like a 5-farm double here and reinforce with moles, because they know that Cactus doesn't have any tier 1. It's like, well, Cactus can build some panic turrets, but that's where the moles come in. And this is actually a little bit too early of a turret, in my opinion. Turrets only take 10 seconds to make, so you can really try to build them at the last minute to get out your farms and stuff like that a little earlier. Like, I feel like Cactus would have been fine going up to 8 farms and then building the turrets with how big this map is. And it's hard because I mean, this is kind of a casual event. I mean, it's still competitive, but, you know, this isn't like a single limb best of 16 type of deal. We're just having fun here. I try not to be, like, overly harsh on players, but I do want to point out little things like that for just people that are trying to learn the game, kind of figuring out what's going on. Little tips and tricks from old boomer Delthius. Okay, gonna clear out this cabin. Strife not gonna attack, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's very far away, and he saw the turrets, so kind of knows it's not gonna work out very well. And this is very defendable for Cactus on 1 base, too. I mean, he's got the turrets, there's only 1 entrance, there's even some water out here. Up on the high ground, I mean, these are all just checking the right boxes to be able to hunker down on 1 base. But let's see. Strife has got some money up. Yeah, let's see the mole spam. I mean, 3 turrets, I think 9 moles would probably get that done quite nicely. Needs to heal up these squirrels a little bit here. Give him a little bath. Okay, Strife's gonna go for it. I think this might be coming a little bit too late, though, as the tier 2 units are already coming in. All the units getting mowed down. Yeah, for this to work, I think Strife would have had to have waited for all those moles. But at the same time, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because the longer you wait, the more time Cactus has to get out these tier 2. And the Skunk and the Snake are going to work very nicely, even without that kind of grunt tier 1 unit on the front, because you get up enough Skunks, and they do a good job of being like your frontline unit. They have a lot of HP. It's kind of hard to get them all defeated once you have like 4 or 6 of them. You know, there's so much HP to try to bust through. Strife's going to try again here. Yeah, this water really is the nail in the coffin too, man. Like, just slowing your units down when they're trying to get in range of these turrets. I mean, that attack gets totally wiped. Strife is going to have to come back home and see if they can manage to salvage this match. But I think Cactus just kind of A moves across the field here. And is probably going to be able to win. Let's see. I like in theory, like, if you took this game in a vacuum and didn't consider the map, you know, I like the idea of Strife opening up with a 5-farm double and reinforcing with moles, but There's just so many things going on for Cactus here that make this super defendable. Long rush distance, probably being the biggest, out of all these other variables. And yeah, Cactus is going to move out here, set up a more defensible position. Now, if Strife can... One thing that's nice about Tooth and Tail is Strife took some really bad hits, but if Cactus, doesn't quite feel like pushing in and trying to end this game, if Cactus kind of sits around on their laurels here and lets Strife macro up into this second base, Strife can get back into this. And Squirrel Falcon is going to be very, very strong in late game. You get up like 10 or 12 Falcons, they're going to DPS down very, very quickly. Get some moles on the front to kind of soak the turret hits. So if I'm Strife in this position, I just want to delay the game. I just want this to go on as long as possible. I'm probably going to very aggressively try to eco up on the second base. Because let's be real, Strife has kind of already lost, right? So if you're Strife, you're in this position now where it's okay to take big risks. And try to just go like right up to 8 farms on the second base. You're kind of crossing your fingers and hoping Cactus like overbuilds turrets or, decides not to really be as out and about on the map as they should be. But that's the kind of mindset I'd have if I was Strife right now. I'd be thinking, all right, I basically already lost this, so let me try to take some big risks to get back into this game. And here come the snakes, though. And there are just too many snakes here. Falcons actually can deal with snakes, but not in these kinds of numbers, Like, if you've got 20 rocks, it's gonna beat 5 papers. That's just RTS theory. But, okay, Cactus takes it out, so Strife is gonna drop down 2 lives, but we'll continue on in the event onto Game 3, or Boss 3, just with 2 lives remaining. So we're gonna go back. Oh, we're gonna have Trumpet versus Tandor. Really fun match here. Trumpet is one of the guys in the scene who got really good really fast. A big StarCraft 2 player. Actually, him and a few of his clan buddies from StarCraft 2 came over and played a lot of Tooth and Tail. Meanwhile, Tander Draco, also another really great player, but kind of went the Delthius route. He's a big streamer. He's producing a lot of content for the scene. I've got a link to Tander Draco's Twitch underneath the channel you're watching right now. Definitely check it out. Fantastic content creator for Tooth and Tail. So we're gonna have Trumpet and Tander Draco here going at it. Both kind of newer players. It's hard to call Trumpet a new player anymore. I think they've been around long enough where they don't have that Sprout icon going back to Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah, really cool. All right, let's see it. Trumpet versus Tander. Let's get this going. USA match. All right. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Let's see. Okay, over on the left-hand side, we've got Trumpet. Over on the right-hand side, we've got Tander Draco. Has Trumpet won in an event? I feel like he's at least got a 2nd place. I have the worst memory for this kind of stuff. I really wish I was better about it, man, because I've like been I've casted like most of the big like grand finals tournaments in the scene. Dude, my memory is so bad. I can't remember anything. I feel like Trumpet, if he hasn't won an event, I feel like for sure 100% he's been like a round of 4 semifinals, maybe a 2nd place. I'm not 100%. We need it's probably too late. I probably should have thought of this years ago, but we need like some kind of website, that just has the the results for like every Tooth and Tail event ever, just in a quick like nutshell, just for guys like me who are trying to sound like I know a lot, and be able to just pull up the website real quick. Oh yeah, they've won 3 things. He might have won Intermediate Championship in 2020. Yeah, if he hasn't won something, he's been damn close. Let's put it that way. He's definitely a championship player, and if he doesn't have that championship belt yet, he will, as long as he stays active in these events. Here comes Tander Draco with the trademarked mole rush here. Just gonna go right for it. Oh man, it is 6 moles, but I think the moles might have taken too much damage. Oh my gosh. Lots of damage done, but not quite the killing blow there. Mostly, though, that's a big victory for Trumpet. Even Trumpet has some moles here to try to deal with that attack, because Tander focused most of their damage just on the big checkmate move, you know. They did kill a couple Warrens, which is nice, but I think if you add everything up, that was much more cost-effective for Trumpet here. So Tander is going to have to kind of limp into the mid-game, but the match is not over. I would even argue, like, it's hard to argue that point. I was going to say, like, maybe wait for just a couple more moles, you know, like build that third mole Warren. But the attack, I get why you don't. Like, the attack is based on two things. One is the surprise, and two is the timing. So the longer you wait, obviously, the higher chance that you get scouted. And, of course, the higher chance that they have units to defend. So it makes sense. I think Trumpet opened up with a pre-8 farm Warrens, though. That build just, like, kills somebody who goes 8 farm opening. Is really what it does. Which, you know, I like, because that's how it used to be back in the day. You would use moles to punish players who went straight 8 farms. And there should be that kind of, like, interaction in the early game. You know, that way there's other things that are viable than the 8 farm. Way back in, like, late 2017, early 2018, it actually wasn't super standard to go 8 farms because of the moles. The standard play was the 5 farm single Warren. The 8 farm opening was like the greed opening, you know. But you'd open with like a 5 farm Warren just to be safe. And it's cool when you see like older players kind of come back. Like I know like when Chip from Space kind of comes back every now and then and plays some matches. He typically still does like the 5 farm Warren opening. Because in his era, when he was the champion, when he was the best at the game, you know, that's what the standard was. Okay, so Trumpet's going for a 1-base board here. Love to see it. I love me some 1-base tier 3 moves. Kind of high risk, high reward. Tander should be able to come in here and scout it, though. Yep, does get the scout. You could argue maybe if Trumpet had his squirrels a bit further up, they would have been able to kill Tander's commander before they were able to get deep enough to see that tier 3 Warren. But doesn't know what's happening. So now Tander has to decide, am I going to try to move right now, or am I going to pull back and hope I can get some like snakes up in time? Is going to try to move right now, but I think this is going to work out for Trumpet. This boar is almost here. So let's see if Trumpet can make this defense happening. I'm liking this for Trumpet. They only had to buy a little bit of time. The boar is on the way now. I don't like this engagement, though. I think Trumpet should have tried to bait Tander back a little bit and kind of waited for the boar to get with the army, but it still should work out fine. And now Tander is in a very rough spot. Really needed to get some damage done with that attack. And Trumpet is just going to march right across the map and try to end this game. Really action-packed match number 1 here. But I think this is going to be it. Tander just doesn't have the answer for the boar. The boar is getting very low, though, taking a lot of damage. But trying to get that ideal boar bomb position, there it is. I'm just going to knock down that Warren. GG. That was a great match, and Trumpet was able to come out on top. Keep in mind that Tander, like, almost just won with that mole rush again, you know, and then after that didn't work, was kind of just playing from behind the whole time. Okay, so that's all we've got from Trumpet. We're going to move on up into Illuminatus' match. Another old-school boomer player, Illuminatus, now takes care of the community with dev responsibilities. And Boss 3 we haven't actually done yet, so let's take a quick look at the rules for Boss 3. Let me set up my scoreboard here. Oh, we've got Zen. I actually really like Zen's playstyle. I'm glad to see them as a boss in this event. Okay. So, we're in match number 3. I did read these rules beforehand, and I like this match a lot, actually. It's a little bit, like, lore heavy or RP heavy. I don't know. Maybe not, but that's kind of the impression I get from it. So you gotta pick a light mammal, you gotta pick a heavy mammal, you gotta pick a reptile, a bird, and a defense. So this is kind of gonna be a little bit more of a standard match, perhaps. You could see something like squirrel, boar, chameleon, falcon, mine, or something. You know, like we might get some more regular looking decks here. But I do like the animal type restriction. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's see how it pans out though. Eel, how many lives does Eel have left? I need to check that on the websites. Standings. Oh wait, would it be in standings? I feel like it would be in standings. Yes, it is. Okay, Eel has 2 lives left. So, Eel is facing tournament elimination. If Sin wins twice, then Eel is kabooted. Okay, let's keep it going. Eel, Luminatus, stage number 3, versus a new boss. Over here on the right-hand side, we've got Zen. Let's see, their small mammal is squirrel. The reptile is toad. Their bird is pigeon, and their big mammal, badger. Yep, okay. Over on this side, we've got squirrel, reptile, bird, huge mammal. Yep. So both these decks check out. They've passed the state inspection here, and let's see it. Which deck do I honestly? I feel like Eel's deck is stronger, right? Maybe now I gotta put an asterisk against that, near that, because Zen is known for some Toad Magode, some Toad magic. The Chad Toad player. We've seen Zen do a lot of stuff like just ram toads into gristmills, knockout players, but it's hard to, it's hard to compete with the snakes. You can do it with stuff like lizards or fox even. But snake is generally a strong unit. You get all those snake stacks on the badger. They can also do quite a bit of harassment and poking. But, you know, Zen does have the pigeons, and the pigeons really do make a big difference against snakes. I feel like Eel's kind of got the better late game scaling army. Well, it's hard to say though, because I mean, you look at the owl, you know, and you're like, well, owls are good, but badgers are typically good against owls, man. And if Eel had like 1 badger and 2 owls versus 3 badgers from Zen, I kind of like that better for Zen, you know. So, now that I'm looking at this a little closer, maybe Zen has the better scaling army in the late game, right? Think about it. You know, Zen can just build up on badgers with a ton of pigeons, and then have the Chad Toads. You know, have the Chad Toads come over here and just snipe a mill. Bam. Or, I mean, even just in a direct fight, you know, in the late game, like, you get 12 or 15 Toads, man, they can delete an entire army. They're all clumped up. So, this is interesting. At first glance, I liked Eel's army better for a late game, and it looks like we are heading towards a late game. We're getting into the mid game at very least. You know, both players are kind of gentleman agreement here, not a lot of early aggression. As I say that, though, Zen is in position to try something, but not going to commit super hard. I like this move out from Zen a lot, though. This reminds me of in Brood War, when Terran will kind of move across the map with some Marines, just to force the Zerg to have to build the Zerglings, like, respect that threat, and then they just walk home. Like, Zen did a very similar thing here. Zen just kind of walked across the map and was like, hey man, you're gonna have to build some Warrens, you're gonna have to build a turret or 2, you gotta respect the fact that I can attack you. And that slows down Eel's progression into the later stages of the game. Now, this is a blind pick kind of thing, keep that in mind. Sometimes in the bosses, the players know what is in the opponent's deck. I don't think that's the case for this one. So Eel's actually going up to double Owl, which, again, in a lot of spots is a good idea, but Zen's got the Badgers. So again, I'm still liking this for Zen more. Zen's in a better position overall. Is building up to an army that kind of wins the counter pick, at least for the mid-game, is building up to a strong second base economy. Eel's not slouching, but Eel is looking more like they want to push soon, in my opinion. Eel might be just waiting for the 2 owls and wants to go. And you can see that because they're starting to build the snakes now, and the snakes will be done around the time when the owls are done. Not committing too much to the second base. This is a lot of tier 1 coming out from Zen. Oh my gosh, has Eel scouted the Badger? Okay, Eel does know about the Badger. That's why the snakes are on the way. But snakes are not good against mass tier 1. So Zen is thinking, I'll use all my tier 1 to deal with these snakes. And then I got the Badger in the back, gotta micro the Badger, keep the Badger alive with the pigeons. Yeah, keeping mines in check, yeah. That's a good point too. Alright, here we go! Zen is gonna move in, but Eel is ready for this. Eel's built up a lot of tier 2, a lot of tier 3. It's gonna come down to this Badger micro. And it comes down to how well Zen can micro the Badger and how well Eel can get the snake stacks on the enemy Badger. But Eel actually hasn't been prioritizing targeting down this Badger with some snake stacks. Finally gets a go and does get the Badger eliminated. These pigeons were not healing the Badger well enough. And this looks good for Eel. Like, loses some Warrens here, loses a couple farms. But the big thing for Eel is keeping these owls alive. Even a couple of the snakes live. I think one snake lived, but... yeah, honestly, Eel did very good there. I was a little bit worried because Eel didn't get those snake stacks immediately on the Badger, but was able to get enough in the end. Zen's in a tough spot. They have a strong economy. They've got a lot of tier 1 Warrens, but 2 owls producing mice. I mean, that's so many free units at this phase of the game coming out for Eel. It's got the snakes to kind of back this up, and the pigeons are trying to help keep some of these squirrels alive. Just can't deal with the onslaught of mice. I think Zen needed some emergency turrets. I think that would have been the play. Because turrets are actually pretty good against the mice. Well, then again, the snakes can deal with the turrets pretty easily. Alright, Eel's gonna back off. Doesn't want to overcommit here. Doesn't want to overextend. Now, keep in mind, Zen does have the better economy. Eel's trying to rectify that, though, throwing down a couple extra farms. And getting into a third base is going to be a little bit tougher for Zen, I feel like, because this seems like very contested territory, where Eel can kind of take this bottom base over here that's a little bit, harder. Zen's actually got the sneaky base. Oh, yes, Zen, do it! Oh, man, Zen's building the sneaky toads, but I think he's about to get busted. This Badger all by itself, Zen is desperate here. I like the idea, but I think this is where Zen taps out after losing that Badger. That was sneaky. I'll give him that. Yeah, there it is. Nicely done by Eel. Gonna advance on and keep those precious lives. Only down to 2 lives, so Eel really needed that win. I feel bad for the bosses because I feel like the default the default person to root for are the challengers, They feel like the antagonists. Like going through the Elite Four. Alright. So, let's take a quick look at stage number 4 here. Okay, so this one's not that complicated. You're going up against Lego Man, a fantastic player, and you have a deck size of 3, and it's a mandatory random mirror. So the boss basically will roll and note down 3 random deck combos. The challenger chooses one of them, and then it will be played by both opponents. Both opponents. Challenger chooses one of them. I think some of this grammar here might be incorrect. We'll get some clarification on that. So basically, the boss is going to get 3 random... it'll be played by both... I get it now. Yeah, because they're mirror. So both contestants, I think would be the better word. But the gentleman's English is far better than my French, so I cannot... I can't say anything. Alright, so we've got Lego Man here. Both contenders. Both players? That would be the easy word. Okay, so we still got Eel. Okay, we got Lego Man, and we got Boss 4. There we go. Cool. Alright, so basically, Lego Man rolls up some random decks, some 3-slot decks, and then Eel is gonna choose one of them. And then that's what's gonna be played by both players. Let's get into this. Yes. On the right side, we've got Eel. On the left side, we've got Lego. I love these decks. Oh, man. I feel like one of the greatest games of Tooth and Tail I ever watched. I gotta find it and, like, do, like, a YouTube clickbait kind of thumbnail on it with my face, like, all, like, Pog, you know? Like, the craziest game of Tooth and Tail ever! Some, like, explosions in the background. I get some, like, question marks near my face. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those, like, crazy thumbnails. But it was, I think it was Tosh and Necromanticer, I want to say. And they had, like, Toad, Ferret, Wolf, or something like that. And I think it was a 2021 Duels game, too. It was, like, Toad, Turret, Mine, and a Fox. I think that's what it was. It was, like, Toad, Turret, Mine, Fox. It was the craziest game I think I'd ever seen. I will dig that up, and I'll make a VOD of it, and so it's easy for y'all to find. Okay, so Eel trying to sneak out a pre-8 farm Toad, doesn't want Lego Man to see it. Now, Lego Man's a very strong player. Eel is as well. Both these players pretty old school. Alright, Ferret's coming up for Lego. Eel's trying to get something done with these Toads. Now, if somebody knows these numbers, it's got to be Eel. So I was just thinking to myself, it's like, well, I don't know how many Toads exactly to kill a pig or to kill a Warren or something, but Eel should know that. That's like Eel's whole thing. Eel does the balance of the game and, you know, any kind of like back-end kind of stuff that we need. Yeah, see, look at that. Eel knows what's up. He's like, bam, I can trade these Toads in exactly, kill this tier 2. No problem. So nicely done there by Eel. That's a scary thing I haven't really thought about when you're playing against Eel, you know? And to be fair, a lot of players, I've never been good at that kind of stuff. Like, if you ask me how much HP a Toad had, I don't know. I don't know, like 8? Like 6? Somewhere around there? I get the general idea. But Eel will be able to say, you know, the Toad has 7 HP and deals 15 single target and deals 3 AoE, you know, stuff like that. Okay, so Ferrets have hit the board for Lego Man. So far, Eel's kind of in the lead, like, if we had a units lost tab kind of deal. You know, Eel's gotten more value this game, but I like Lego Man's position. He's already got his Ferrets up on the field. He's got this sneaky expansion base over on the side. Eel is not too far behind, though, getting their own expansion up, getting their own Ferrets up. Dude, Woof Puff Ferrets. I know that seems like a meme, but like PrintF used to do that when he played. PrintF is a famous StarCraft 2 player, really known for cannon rushing. And PrintF used to play Tooth and Tail and like to do like Wolf Ferret, Fox, Turret. Honestly, I liked it a lot because I like that kind of play style myself. Oh, here we go. Nice snipe there from Lego Man, killing a single pig, but Eel is going in for the trade. These Toad trades can be very weird too, right? Because it's super easy to trade like 2 Toads for 6 Toads. So you want to make sure you're on the right end of that kind of thing, you know? Here comes a harassment though. Eel is going to pick off a pig, but going to lose a Ferret for the process. We'll defend the other one. Alright, this is crazy. We've basically given the players here cannons and walking grenades. And that's it. And then somebody maybe later on that's going to hype up your units. It's like, here's some cannons, and here's some grenades. Go. Hey, see you later, Tander. Oh, the Tooth and Tail Talks. My bad, man. I hope I'm not overlapping with your stream. If you're still going on after this, we'll definitely give you a big old raid. Alright, Lego. Gonna move in, gonna clear out that campfire. His or later. Okay, cool. Oh, Eel! Eel's going for the move! Oh, do you attack the natural or the main here? I feel like the natural's easier, but you get more value out of the main. Both players. Oh no, Lego Man! There it is. Oh, one more shot. Okay. Oh, that would have been so bad if Lego Man used all those toads and didn't get that expansion. Alright, so it's getting feisty here. We've just hit the 5-minute mark, so the main base is starting to dry up. Now, an important thing to note is Eel kind of won some RNG here. The pig that Lego Man killed earlier was a starting pig anyways, which is nice. Meanwhile, the one that Eel killed was not a starting pig, which dropped Lego down to 3 farms versus 4. So Lego's kind of forced to rebuild on this farm that's already like halfway mined out, which is never a good feeling. But we're in a knife fight here now. This is kind of tough. I mean, are the players going to commit to try and get the economy up again? It looks like that's what Eel wants to do. Already got that gristmill up and running. Just throws down a single pig for now. We've got some ferret trades going on here. It's pretty easy to dance your ferrets against the opponent's ferrets, but when you have a large clump of like tier 1 like this, I mean, it's just going to happen that you're going to lose some tier 1 from time to time. So I actually don't like that Eel's kind of dancing with these toads. I understand why he is, though. I think the idea is to do the dance and then get in there and blow up the ferrets eventually. Kind of interesting, too, we've seen the players really going crazy on the toads here. Nobody committing to that extra set of ferrets just yet. But yeah, see, like, doing these ferret dances aren't too bad. Ooh, taking a hit there. Gotta be careful. But yeah, like that right there, like 1 or 2 toads just died. And that will add up over time, especially in scrappy matches like this. You know, where we don't have a lot of economy left. Lego Man really wants to make it happen, though. Realizes that Eel is trying to kind of claw their way back into this with that expansion. 1 ferret going down. Not a very... Ooh, gets that other ferret. Nice. Okay. I was going to say that wasn't very cost-effective for Eel, but after the rest of what just happened there, I think it looks a lot better. Look at this army value graph, man. This game is so close. Both players kind of taking a breather here. Trying to get in some extra farms. Eel's main base is totally farmed out here. Does have this one little pig that they can take, but won't be taken unless Eel is just down to like 1 mil and has to prevent themselves from starving. Some more little trades here. And Lego Man is really staying on the offense. Trying to keep the tempo in their favor. Really wanting to take these fights at the opponent's face, which is very important, actually, because it's like, every now and then in the fight, you land a hit on the gristmill, or you hit the pig, you know? And that kind of stuff adds up. Like right there! Oh my gosh, that pig decided to bob and weave at the right time, dodges a cannon shot, but does get hit by another follow-up one. So Eel is down to starving. And this is where we might see this kind of farmed out farm come into play, because Eel will lose this gristmill. He's going to have to take that farm to stop from starving. But Eel's kind of down to what you see is what you get. So I think what Eel is probably going to go for is waiting as long as they can before taking that farm. Okay, Lego Man actually doesn't kill this base. Oh, but Eel doesn't have enough money to afford a pig. Gonna have to sell off some toads here. 6 toads isn't enough to kill a mill. I think you need 9. I think 9 was the magic number. Man, what a scrappy match. Lego Man is a little bit ahead, though, after all these engagements. And it really, you can see the last couple minutes, according to the army value chart, it is really where Lego Man started shining. You know, pretty similar amount of toads, but Lego Man still got the ferret up and running. Gonna lose that pig, that's probably it. Eel should tap here. Gonna try to kill that ferret. Well, yeah, I mean, what can you really do? You gotta sell a warren to build another pig. Don't even get a pig from selling the warren. Gotta sell both Warrens here. So this should be the end of this one. There it is. Alright, Eel down to 1 life left. Now there were three random decks created by Lego Man to start this off. So I'm curious if it's going to be a different one in the second match, or if we kind of get stuck with that one deck. Let's find out. Okay, it is a different one. So in the bottom, we've got Lego Man, and up top, on the last life, we've got Eel Luminatus. Eel really needs a win here. This is kind of hilarious because it's a very short rush distance map. This map to me says, oh man, this game is going to be 5 minutes long, it's going to be action-packed, you know, it's going to be really based on just somebody kind of taking a better engagement, killing a Warren, and like trying to snowball from there. But the deck comps don't really allude to that, right? Like, Toad, Falcon, Badger. I mean, what's your plan? Are you going to try to 8-farm Badger? As crazy as that sounds? That's probably what I would try to do. I don't know. It's rough. I mean... Okay, so 4 Falcons. Typically my number, if I'm on the ladder and I have Falcons and the opponent is going Badger, typically 4 Falcons is enough to kill a Badger. But that's also with a little bit of cover fire, you know, some squirrels or some lizards kind of dealing a little bit of damage to the Badger too, so... If it was just like straight up Falcon versus Badger, it's probably like 6 Falcons, if I had to guess. But in general, I think the Falcon is strong against the Badger. Pure Falcon Mirror, yeah, that's probably the most likely thing. I agree. Like, I think you could try to get out a quick Badger, but the Badger will become irrelevant once you get enough Falcons. It'll probably be a pure Falcon Mirror, and then maybe trying to do something like building up 12 Toads to try to be a sneaky boy, you know, and knock out an expansion. I was just thinking about maybe trying to go for a Badger rush here, because I think in the very early game, the Badger will be decent. But once you build up to too many Falcons, then yeah, the Badger is just going to get DPS down too quickly without any supporting units to deal with Falcons. If we had squirrels in our tier 1 slot, I think the Badger might be a little more relevant because you'd have something to deal with these Falcons. Alright, good trade so far for Lego Man. Eel trying to be a bit aggressive there. Loses a Falcon, loses some Toads, and Lego Man does not lose a thing. So this is not looking good for Eel. I like this though, Eel trying to macro up. Gonna come in here for the scout. Needs to be careful. Yeah, it's almost like Mutalisk versus Mutalisk, you know, in Brood Wars ZVZ. Like, if you've got the edge, you're just gonna deal so much damage. And right here, Lego Man's got the edge. Yeah, see, like 3 versus 2. You lose 1 to kill 2, that kind of thing. And this might honestly be game, like as anticlimactic as that is. And I really think it's because the Toads in the tier 1 slot, you know, just not being able to interact with the Falcons at all. And one thing, I'd imagine Falcons don't heal in water. I've never really thought about that before, so you are gonna have to like retreat to heal up your Falcons again. But yeah, look at this, man. Lego Man already going up to 5 Falcon Warrens, got 6 on the field. Oh man, not like this. Poor Eel. Nice try here from Eel, but I believe that is going to be it for Eel Luminatus' run in the 2021 Duels here. Kinda, I think really what this game came down to was Eel's early move out, trying to get something done with like a quick Falcon and a quick couple Toads, and Lego Man just, you know, handled that with 100% efficiency, not losing any units. And Lego Man's a very good player, and one thing that really makes you a great player at this game is just knowing, oh, I've got the lead, I can go in, and I can snowball that to a victory. Okay, we're gonna have Heartseed, and from memory, I believe it was Zen as Heartseed's opponent. And this is a little bit more of a regular match. You pick one unit from a, you know, small mammal, big mammal, reptile, bird, and defense. Let me do a quick check on Heartseed's remaining life total. Okay, ooh, Heartseed's at 4, that's right. That's right, Heartseed killed it last time. Okay. Alright. Looking good. Cool. Yeah, Snipe Mill would have been the thing. I agree, Tiki. Like, in the late game, if somehow we got to a late game, but thinking about it, like a Falcon Mirror, that's what's going to happen. Someone's going to get a small edge, and they're just going to snowball it. But I was thinking, like, tactically in the late game would have been cool to see Toads used to try to blow up mills and stuff like that. But I think the odds of getting there in a Falcon match are very low. Okay, so let's do this. Let's check it out. Heartseed has not dropped a map yet. Let's see if they can keep it going. Wait, Lego Man match 3. Hang on. Isn't Lego Man the match? Oh no, I got it backwards. I'm sorry. Zen is boss 4. See, I was confident. I knew what I was doing and I didn't double check. No, wait. No, I'm correct. I'm right. Lego Man is stage 4, and Zen is stage 3. It could just be incorrectly named here, right? Stage 3 Heartseed. Stage 3 Heartseed. Lego Man. Okay, you know what? Let's do a little censor here. Let me check some things. Okay, perfect. Yep, they're just named backwards. Totally fine. There we go. Okay. No problem at all. I should be more confident myself. I just immediately default to I made a mistake. Okay, so this is stage 3. Heartseed versus Zen. And again, this is a little bit more of a normal match. So if you're kind of new or looking for some tips or tricks, so definitely one to pay a little closer attention to. In the bottom, we've got Heartseed still with all 4 lives, and over on the left-hand side, Zen. Yeah, and these decks look fine, you know? I mean, not exactly meta what you would go for in, like, a serious 1v1 competitive match, but also not super far off either, right? We're pretty close. I do like the Squizzard versus Squode. Squirrel Lizard versus Squirrel Toad. That's always a fun thing to kind of deal with, or see how those interactions go. Not the best lizard map in the world. I mean, there technically is 2 entrances in the main base, but Zen's in a pretty good spot. You know, like, you can try to shuffle your lizards through like that, but there isn't really a ramp from Heartseed's main through the frozen waters over to the left. And then when Zen expands out, like, maybe we can see some flanks and stuff a little bit later on, because there is this kind of attack path that could be taken to, like, harass that base. But I like this from Zen. Trying to plant their feet on this map early on. Gonna go ahead and take this base. If Zen can take this base, then they basically lock themselves into these back bases for free. And I like this. Zen could even throw some turrets up here on this high ground. That'd be nice to see. Well, Heartseed's full throttle lizards at the moment. Yeah, that's a great turret positioning. Right now it's not, though. Like, Zen probably wanted a more centralized turret until his units got up and running. Don't lose a couple of warrants here. This is a nice victory for Heartseed, especially if they can manage to get away with the rest of these lizards, yeah. Yeah, I think that first turret kind of should have been more in the center of the warrens. And Heartseed's breaking through, trying to look for some other things. What's really nice about this turret in the position it is, though, is that it just killed, like, so many reinforcing units for free. And we'll hold on, but Zen has really hemorrhaged a lot of damage from losing these Warrens over and over. Heartseed did lose quite a bit of lizards, though. So I'm not sure exactly how it maths out, like who's got more on the units lost tab kind of deal. Alright, Zen, yeah, now Zen's trying to build this little more protective turret, but a little bit too late. These lizards are able to deal with that no problem. Wow, Zen's actually gonna get this mill? No, Heartseed's gonna push him back at the very last moment, and this actually might be too much damage here. I think now Heartseed can just get on top of these Warrens and end the game. Yeah, Zen, with a little bit of, like, not ideal positioning, I suppose, for those first few Warrens and first few turrets. Like, keep in mind, Zen did something a little bit risky, trying to get this mill on this high ground. Like, Heartseed kind of knew how important this area was for the long-term game plan of this map, and, you know, that really encouraged Heartseed to spam lizards, because Heartseed was like, there's no way I'm going to let you get set up right here. I'm going to do everything I can to prevent that. And I think Zen maybe could have held that position with a little bit more, you know, Warren's more in the back, you know, maybe a little bit better positioning on those turrets. But yeah, Heartseed gonna continue the undefeated streak so far in the tournament. Very nicely done. I'm just gonna Vince McMahon right into stage 4 here. Undefeated. Okay. So this, again, the stage 4 is against Lego Man, where three slot decks get determined, and then Heartseed says, I want to play with this one, and then both players have to use that deck. Let's see if Heartseed can keep it going in boss number 4. Over on the right-hand side, we've got Lego Man and Heartseed on the left. This is the same deck that got used versus Eel. Not statistically impossible, but a little statistically improbable. Actually, probably not, right? Because I think the random button is like random asterisk, you know? I think the random algorithm tries to balance a little bit between like the different tiers of units, and I think you're probably messing with that even more when you start doing things like lowering deck size. So the random algorithm probably is just saying at this point, you know, give me a tier 1, give me a tier 2, give me a tier 3. Well, we saw Toad, Falcon, and Badger get selected, yeah, so that's my guess. I think the vast majority of what we're going to see here is a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3. And again, I know there might be some newer people kind of checking out the VODs or checking out the stream for picking up the game on the summer sale. We are playing crazy nonsense Tooth and Tail. Like, this is very structured, crazy custom rules event that the gentleman has created here. So this is not an accurate representation of like high-level competitive gameplay. I would still argue there's themes of that in it, though. Like, Lego Man is a high-level competitive player, and Heartseed's definitely no slouch either. So that you'll see them like utilizing tactics or gameplay principles, but we're just playing, we're just having fun. We're playing weird modes, basically. Okay, we've got Ferret versus Toads again. This time around, though, Lego Man's trying to shoot up to the 4 Ferrets pretty quickly. I like that a lot. That's not something we saw last time we had these decks versus the Illuminatus. It was typically like one set of ferrets the whole game. So I think Lego Man is kind of iterating on that and saying, you know what, man, if I got 2 ferrets, I got 4 ferrets, I should say, it's a lot more dangerous, and I totally agree. Ooh, gotta keep these ferrets alive. So far, some really good micro from both sides. 1 HP on that ferret. Heartseed is gotta be tilted. That is rough. That would have been very big to get that unit knocked out. So Logoman actually lost a farm earlier on from one of Heartseed's previous attacks. Logoman trying to get up to that second expansion here. First expansion, second base, I should say. Yeah, we're gonna see a little bit more the shooting to and fro. Right now, Logoman's got the ferret advantage. Ooh, loses one though. Nicely done by Heartseed there. Trying to move in with these toads. Good block there from Logoman though. Oh man, that was so close. Ooh, this is gonna get shelled down immediately. Oh man, it doesn't! Oh, come on, Logoman, you gotta kill it. Oh, 1 HP on that ferret. Okay, losing ferrets is actually bad for Logoman. Heartseed with a great flank with the toads, but Logoman barely had their toads in position in time. Losing all the ferrets, this is looking so good for Heartseed. Heartseed has been playing like a madman in this in this event. That's crazy. Heartseed's in a super good position here. Oh, Logoman trying to get in with the toads. And enough of Heartseed's toads were there to kind of block, but okay, now a couple of the ferrets are going down. Where are we at? We're almost at the 5-minute mark. That's where things are gonna get really dicey. 5-minute mark is where half of your basically pigs last for 5 minutes. So at the 5-minute mark, your 4 starting pigs are donezo. They're Dunzo Washington. They're Dunyon Rings. Okay, more toads coming in. Just needs one more hit there. Gonna get it. Nicely done by Lego. Heartseed, though. That's a pretty bold expansion from Heartseed, man. I gotta admit. That was like right in your face. Ooh, good toad trade there for Heartseed. Oh! Losing a ferret. Okay. Heartseed's got the better economy. Oh man, 2 of the pigs that Logoman lost were the starting pigs. And that is actually a really big deal right now. Heartseed's got 150% of the income that Logoman does. And that might be enough to kind of snowball into a victory, kind of get there. Let's see. 3 ferrets versus 1. I can't believe Heartseed took this expansion. Like, maybe I get taking this mill to just kind of extend the territory, you know, make some ferrets or toads accidentally attack it, get some healing, but dude, Heartseed built farms on it, man. Trying to dance with these toads to get some hits, there it is. But losing another pig in the process. Logoman is starving! And is Heartseed actually gonna get there? Logoman's got nothing left. He's got 1 gristmill, but no farms on it. This is just a waiting game from Heartseed now. Logoman actually has no money. No more toads. Got 2 ferrets against the world. Gonna sell the ferrets. Oh, man. That's it. That's game. Oh, Heartseed doesn't know where the other base is. That's kind of surprising. We should know, actually, because they should see the territory. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and if y'all want to follow along with the event here, there's a wonderful website. I have it open, but I'm trying to find a link that doesn't look terrible. Yeah, really, really great website. Probably the best website we've had for a Tooth and Tail event. It's got tons of information. It's got all the standings, all the stages, everything updated in real time. So Heartseed, gonna keep blasting through. Undefeated still. And we are going to, it's fine. I'm actually out of disk space. That's funny. I need to put another hard drive in my computer. I've only used up 2 terabytes. It's not crazy. I actually shouldn't have been recording these videos anyways. Bam, bam, bam. Get rid of all those. Okay. Dang, those videos were huge. I have my recording quality set up way too high on OBS, that's why. Alright, let's get into Kalaru. Okay, we're gonna have Kalaru versus Zen. Again, this is a little bit, this is closer to like vanilla Tooth and Tail here. This is like the most normal of the stages we've had so far. Let me check Kalaru's remaining lives. At 4 lives, Kalaru's killing it too. Cool. Alright, so yeah, this one you kind of, we've split up the categories into like what type of animal it is, and you got to pick one from the different types of animals categories. So pretty straightforward. We should see a good match here. Let's get into it. Spawn at the bottom left, we've got Zen. And the opponent to the top right, Kalaru, my hero. Kalaru with Fox Artie, let's go. And Zen, this is like the deck from Zen, man. This is the one he's picked so far. Well, that's not correct, right? Oh geez, because the match with Heartseed. No, Zen. I think Zen did have this deck, and Heartseed was just very aggressive with the lizards, so we didn't see the match really evolve very far. Oh, that's right, Kalaru. Yeah, it was like the fastest. I think he cleared stage 1 and 2 in like literally 2 minutes. It was something crazy like that. Like Kalaru's stage 1, stage 2 was literally like 2 or 3 minutes long. And Kalaru opened it with a 6-farm Warren here. But that was in response to Zen's fast Warrens, which kind of makes sense for this map. Pretty short rush distance, so Zen's going to come in, see if they can get something done. Would love to see this game go a little bit longer. Would love to see stuff like foxes and artillery hit the board. That could be a lot of fun. No tier 2 out of either player. Okay, so Zen, taking a look around here. Zen actually did a really good job getting the lay of the land already. So did Kalaru. So the maps are pretty scouted out. The players know where the expansions are. The map is actually like surprisingly balanced in a way, right? Like Zen's got 3 bases here, Kalaru's got 3 bases here, and there's like these 2 bases over here they can fight over. So I like that a lot. And they're both opting for the fight over bases first, which might be in Zen's favor since they do have the MGs. You know, throw down a couple of MGs like up on this high ground or something like that, which is nice because maybe Kalaru doesn't see them build. You know, doesn't have vision of that high ground. And I think that MG, oh, well, to be fair, since the territory has changed, you can only build on the lower end, but that could still be pretty good. But no, this time around, Zen is going to be a little bit safer with the turret position. Good scout here from Zen, just making sure nothing crazy is going on. Oh, Kalaru with the Chad Artie. Up here on the high ground now. Now it's on Zen to actually walk up there and look for that. Which maybe they might get lucky if like a squirrel steps on that ramp or something. Oh my gosh. If Kalaru wins this game from hiding in artillery, that'll make my July 4th. That'll make my America Day. It's so risky. It is so risky. And it's gonna work! Zen still hasn't seen it! I was about to see it when their gristmill's under attack. Oh my gosh, Zen thinks they're being so slick right now. And there it is. Oh man. Oh yeah, just gonna try to instantly down it. Kalaru does need to defend it here. and those units are just gonna get mowed down. That should be game. What a cool play here from Kalaru. You know, Zen's not gonna give up that easy. Gonna pack up and try to go home and set something up. But hell yeah, brother. Two thumbs up for Kalaru here. Kalaru wins no matter what now. Like, even if Zen wins this game somehow, Kalaru still wins. In my heart. Even gonna start leapfrogging here. Now, to be fair to Zen, does have the Badger on the way. Against Kalaru's Owl, Kalaru kind of chose... Kalaru shook the Magic 8 Ball and chose the wrong Tier 3 here. Kalaru would have been better off with the Fox, but I think the Owl choice makes sense. They have seen turrets from Zen, and Foxes can't do anything about turrets at all. Zen's gonna try to break out of this. Zen knows about that already being built. I mean, maybe the Badger saves the day. It is getting supply blocked. There it goes. But it might be too little too late. Artie's always surprised me with the range. Like, I think if Kalaru goes up here and gives vision, the artillery can shoot these pigs. Yeah. Oh, maybe can't quite hit this. Well, let's see. No, yeah, it can. Can't get the mill. Damn, it can shoot all the way there. It's so insane. I like it though, because it does need the vision. It can't shoot that far by itself. You gotta be sighting for it. Kalaru's gonna use that supporting fire to be able to move in. If things get too dicey, you can always scoot back a little bit, and the artillery will help him out. And Kalaru's just going for the win here. Does see the Badger Warren, but it's too late. The Badger's on the board. Let's see if this can be a miracle Badger. We have seen it before. The Badger is definitely a miracle worker. But Kalaru, 8 farms to 2. Kalaru's got their own Owl out. Again, not the best unit against the Badger, but like I said earlier, you know, 10 rocks will beat 2 paper. Alright, I like this from Zen. It might take too long, though, is the problem. Like, what he was trying to do is get into a base race scenario. But trying to walk all the way around there would just take so long. Gonna come in and... You know, Zen might have the stronger army here if he can mow down these squirrels. Yeah, Badgers are pretty good. Without snakes or foxes or falcons on the enemy side to really deal with them. So Zen takes a wonderful engagement there, but still, I mean, might be too far behind. Gotta give it to Zen for the resiliency here. Gonna try to fight to the last. Not gonna let Kalaru through their stage that easily. Oh man, the Badger gets caught not being micro though. Zen was scouting and is gonna go down. That should be the tap there for Zen. So nicely done by Kalaru. Gonna advance on as well with full lives remaining. Which puts us into stage 4 of Kalaru, which will be going up against Lego Man. And again, the rules here are Lego Man kind of flips some coins, determines 3 random decks of 3 units, and then Kalaru gets those choices presented to them, and Kalaru says, we're going to play this one. And then both players have to play it. That was such a fun game. Love to see the Artie work. Artie's one of these units that's not like in the top tier meta, you know? If you get some of the really strong players like the Gentleman or Tiki or something, they're not necessarily going to bring the Artie into like a high-level tournament match, but at the same time, it's like if you're good with the Artie and you can do things like put it there in that sneaky little spot, you can win with it, if that makes sense. It's like, it's not a bad unit, but it's not like a really played like common. It's not like a snake or a skunk or something like that. It's something you can get done with, but it's a style point kind of unit. All right, stage 4, Kalaru versus Lego Man. We got some random mirror decks here. Okay, Mole Chameleon Wire. I feel like I've been here before. I feel like this has happened before. This has definitely happened before. In the bottom left, we've got Claro up top, Logo Man. It's like the Daffy one, yeah. Yeah, I want to say it was last season of 21 Duels. We saw some games that were mole cam wire. For whatever reason. Claro, some really far away early moles. Lego Man looks like he was thinking about doing a mole rush, but didn't. And the reason was because Lego Man inferred from looking at Claro's main base that Claro had moles on the map somewhere. Which was a correct inference, but the moles from Claro here are very far away. I wonder if Claro hadn't scouted. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. That makes more sense now. So Claro knew that they wanted to attack with moles very early, but didn't quite find their opponent fast enough, so just kind of built the moles and was hoping Logo Man was like around here somewhere. So the wire is pretty much null and void, right? Because, well, wire is actually better against moles than you'd think it would be. But in general, you know, the moles and the chameleon are both really strong with dealing with the wire. But you can maybe delay the game with wire, I suppose. Like, if you really took this expansion or something and you just built a ton of wire there. Another thing, too, that I hadn't really thought of is wire will prevent the chameleons from... It'll unstealth the chameleons, right? So if you're worried about the chameleons sneaking in somewhere, you throw down some wire to try to prevent that a little bit. Alright, both players trying to get into those chameleons. And yeah, this is probably going to turn into a chameleon arm race. Oh, good job from Lego Man here. Nice. Well, losing the moles, but does force a sell on the farm. So you could make an argument that, you know, every 1 second that you're having to rebuild this farm, what's it, like 20 seconds for a pig? That's 20 bucks right there. And then whatever the difference between 60 was when they sold, so a little bit of value there. I mean, losing the moles does stink. Yeah, what we're gonna get into though is a chameleon's arms race, kind of like with the Falcons. The chameleon is just like the stronger unit here by a lot, and also scales quite nicely. I like these kind of attacks. So Claro trying to get in. Oh, that was a nice little fake out. Really cool. I think he needed a couple more pigs there to really make that worth it, but Claro like sacrificed the moles to get Lego Man to move the chameleons out of position to do the real damage to their own chameleons. But Lego Man's actually not messing around, gets in here and does a ton of counter damage. 4 pigs go down. Ooh, man, that is a lot of damage. This might be Claro's first loss here. Claro's got to try something here. Coming in with a big counter attack. Lego Man's got plenty of cams, though. There are a lot of extra moles. Now, one thing, too, the moles can knock out gristmills surprisingly fast. I don't think Claro's got that much of an army lead, though, to just right-click the mill. And back out for now. Good little trade, though. Kind of returning the favor on that damage, but I still like Lego Man's position better. Got so much damage done with this attack, and you always feel bad like rebuilding farms on spots where you've already kind of mined it out a little bit. Claro would much rather spend that 60 bucks on a fresh farm if possible. Okay, Claro looking for some more damage. Maybe Lego Man was thinking about doing some moles, but decided against it once they saw Claro coming in for the attack. Claro's actually, again, some good mind games here. Claro trying to feign. And I think Claro could have done it even better if they use the barbed wire, right? Because you don't want to rally, but you want to show them that you're rallying, so you put your selection on the wire. That way you can rally without actually moving your units. Okay, and Lego Man is going to go ahead and build some sneaky moles here, try to deal with the infrastructure in the back. Claro's keeping his own moles on defense, though. And Claro's going to come in and just get the main, and that's going to work. Lego Man's too far out of position, is also going to get all the infrastructure here in the back. Meanwhile, let's see if Lego Man's attack can get anything done. No, it can't. The pigs here, the moles on defense. Claro moving in. Oh, this is going to be bad, though. Oh, man, that's going to be so bad for Claro. 2 cams down. Going to lose a couple moles, too. Got to retreat. That was a little bit bold. Claro's got the better economy, but Lego Man's got the better army. Oh, Lego Man's just going to end it. Oh, but he can't, because if he tries to, then Claro just ends it. Oh, man. This is kind of funny. It's like a shotgun fight here. There it is, Claro. Pounding his way with the cams and the moles. Through boss number 4, still full HP. Man, there was a lot going on there. Like, if you think about it, like, just so much. I like that Claro was trying to play the mind games. And you know, like, act like, oh, hey, I'm over here. You don't know. Maybe I'm bringing my chameleons. We got Melvin Fro coming up next. Up against Zen. Got a few more matches for you all today. Happy 4th of July. Tander Draco is going to be doing Tooth and Tail Talks in a little while here. So keep your eye out for that. I don't know what time that's happening. Let me see. I think I'm in like a... I'm in too many Discord servers, man. I feel like Tander's got a Discord. If somebody knows what time the Tooth and Tail Talks is, please let us know in the chat. And, okay, so Melvin versus Zen. And how many lives does Melvin have? Let's see here. Oh. Standings. Melvin Fro is at 3 lives. Respectable. Respectable. Yeah, dude. Claro and Heartseed both at 4 lives left. There's only a couple stages left. It's like 5 stages and then the final boss and extra boss, right? Yeah. Oh, you got this guy on stage 5. What's the stage 5 rules? Okay. Okay, I dig that. I think the Fox Falcon one's a little more interesting. Oh man, the Falcon Balloon Owl. Oh gosh, that could turn really weird. Unless people just like ignore the balloon and just spam the Falcons. I don't know. I like the Fox Falcon Mine. I actually really like that. I guess I should show y'all what I'm talking about. Kind of looking ahead at some of the stuff coming up here. So this is stage 5 against this guy. 4 p.m. for the Tooth and Tail Talks. Thank you. So in like an hour and a half. Yeah. So game 1. So match 1. So basically, the challenger chooses which deck to use. Mandatory mirror, right? So this looks like it could be one or two things to me. This looks like it's either going to be we're going to build Falcons and ignore everything else, or we're going to build Falcons and we're going to build big balloon walls. And then it's like, now what? Like a stalemate match, or like trying to find that little pocket to sneak your Falcons through the 10 balloons. That could be degenerate. But this one looks really fun to me. And I know I'm Fox biased because that's my favorite unit, but Falcon Fox Mine, like, is pretty cool, you know? Because obviously, you get a bunch of Falcons together, that's like one of the strongest things in the game. But Fox is super good against Falcons, right? Right? So the Fox can kind of deal with them, but you got those mines there. Okay, those mines will blow up your Fox, so you gotta be careful. That looks really fun. Fox Falcon one is really fun to play. Yeah, for sure. I could see that. The other one, like, I mean, it's cool. I'm not, like, saying it's bad, but it just feels like, to me, it's just going to be a Falcon War. Or it's going to be a stalemate with balloon walls, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll be, have a little more flavor than that. Okay, so we're going back to the Zen match here for Melvin. Melvin's got 3 lives left, and again, this is a little bit closer to a normal match of Tooth and Tail. Both players just have to choose one of each category of unit, kind of like a big reptile, a big mammal, a small mammal, a reptile, that kind of stuff. So on the right-hand side, we've got Zen using that same deck again, and up top, Melvin Fro. Melvin Fro, very strong player. I believe Melvin Fro is a championship winner. Yeah, let's see how this goes. So we've got the Falcon Fox out of Melvin. Or I'm sorry, Owl Falcon, or Owl Fox. We saw that earlier too out of Kalaru as well. An Owl Fox is kind of a way to hedge your bets. Oh, 4-farm double coming out of Melvin here. Zen does see it and responds to the 5-farm Warrens, but the question is, ooh, oh, actually I like that a lot. That's really smart. Because the turret's going to build so fast, yeah, you should totally be fine. Unless the lizards wrap all the way around, which they can. This is a pretty big map. Yeah, and Melvin already saw that turret. Ooh, boy. Okay, it's only 4 lizards here. That's enough to snipe a pig. This turret will do a good job of killing those reinforcements. So yeah, 6 lizards down for a pig. So not a good trade there for Melvin. Nice try, but Zen was ready for it. But yeah, I like Owl Fox a lot because you're hedging your bets a little bit. Because the Fox is really good. The Fox is interesting because it's really good against a lot of units and then just god-awful, impossible, hard-countered by a lot of other units, right? Well, hold that thought. Zen is going to come in for the counterattack. I don't think this will work. This is really risky when you're squirrels against lizards, unless you know you have, like, double the squirrels. Because the lizards in big open engagements like that are just going to trade so much nicer. Yeah, I think Zen turned a good thing into a bad thing. I think Zen held that first attack cost effectively, and then just kind of threw it away right there. I mean, threw it away might be a little bit harsh language. I understand why they tried to get something done. But the lizards are just so much stronger than the squirrels in this scenario at the moment. But yeah, so like the Fox is really good against like all the tier 2 pretty much. A good bit of the tier 3, but really bad against, you know, owls or defenses or stuff like snakes. And that's where the owls come in. You know, where it's like, okay, if the enemy's going owl or has a bunch of defense, or the enemy has units to where my Fox is not going to be good, then I can always just play owl instead. And also the owl will scale a lot better. You know, you don't really build multiple Foxes. Sometimes you can be crazy and build like 2 Foxes, but Foxes in the unit you're going to dump all your late game money into, right? Fox is kind of like a mid-game value unit that you try to run around and esports on people with. Alright, so we are gonna stabilize here. You know, it looks kind of fine, right? Like, that first attack was bad for Melvin, the second attack was bad for Zen. So, we've evened out enough. I mean, I'm sure you could really, really slice this closely and say, well, actually, Zen has plus 60 food right now or something, but I feel like it's pretty close. Zen's just gonna slam through. Ignore the barbed wire. The army's gonna get cleaned up, but I like that play. He got a lot of damage done. He killed 3 farms, he killed a couple Warrens, got through the barbed wire, he traded. Okay, you know? Melvin's thinking about a counterattack here. Lizard Skunk is always quite nice. And yeah, you know, maybe we're going to have an actual mid-game here. I think it's going to depend on how this next Toad attack comes from Zen. Zen is working towards that 2-base economy here. Got three farms saturated on that natural. Melvin still hasn't expanded, but there it is. So, you know, it looks like both players were trying to make some moves in the early game. Some things happened, some trades were done. But we're going to even out. Maybe Zen is a bit in the lead, especially because he's got the second base up a little bit faster. But Melvin's not impossibly behind. Melvin could just dump a ton of farms here. Like, even go up to, like, 4 or 5, you know? Especially with all this wire. I would think Melvin would want to build more farms up. Especially seeing those turrets, like... Should feel like you're not going to get attacked. But what Melvin really does need to do is sniff around for a tier 3, and is going to find it, so really nicely done from Melvin. I'm super curious how Melvin's going to respond here. I think it's sell off some tier 1, maybe get out your own Fox, and build some more farms. Right, is that the play? Prioritizing the Fox, which makes sense. You want to make sure you get that thing on the field as fast as possible. The Badger is a solid minute ahead of this Fox, though. So there will be a window where Zen could try to push through before the Fox is ready to roll. But actually, Melvin not going to go big on the economy. Melvin's a little bit worried about getting attacked too. I'm going to check the opponent and say, okay, they're on 4, I'm on 3. What are you doing, Melvin? 180 bucks. Oh, it was saving for the Fox, of course. Yeah, so the Badger is about like 40 seconds ahead. 30, 40 seconds. And did Zen ever scout the Fox Warren? He did, so he knows the clock is ticking. The Fox, on paper, is good against the Badger, so he wants to use the time where the Fox is not here to try to get a lot of damage done. These barbed wire really slowing things down, though. Wants this Badger to tank through the wire, actually. Because the damage is less impactful on the Badger there, getting healed back up. And, yeah, should be able to kill this natural. That's huge. That actually might be enough damage. Oh my gosh, is he gonna get the Fox Warren? It's right there, it's so close, and the Fox Warren will go down. Melvin not placing the Fox Warren in the ideal spot. I think it should have been placed in the very top corner, but it probably wouldn't have mattered, to be fair. Like, even if Melvin's Fox got out, the damage is already done. Zen killed the natural, and that's really what you're looking for in those situations. So, yeah, great attack there by Melvin. Or, I'm sorry, by Zen. And maybe if Melvin scouted that Badger a bit earlier, we could have had a longer game on our hands. But Melvin's not down and out just yet. Got 2 lives left. So let's see if they can bring it back in match number 2 here. Spawning at the bottom, we got Melvin. And over on the top left, Zen. Alright, now these are some more meta-looking decks here. I think if you replace the defense, yeah, if you're like a new player looking for a strong deck, kind of start off with, it's not too crazy based on hiding an artillery cannon or, you know, esports dunking on your opponent with a Fox or anything like that. What these guys are running is really good, especially for someone trying to figure out the game. I would just recommend replace the defensive structure with a Chameleon, or maybe Snake. Really, I think take away the defense on either of those. Squirrel Lizard or Squirrel Toad is fine. Yeah, replace the defense with like a tier 2. That's not a ferret, and you're good. I think you can make arguments for, well, I don't think you want Skunk, right? Because you don't need the AoE, especially if you have the Toads. A little bit of pre-8 farm warrants coming out. I can see more argument for Skunk and Zen's style with the Squizzard, but I think the Skunk with Melvin's deck is just overkill. Like, you've got so many ways to deal AoE. You can't go wrong with the Snake, and the Snake is a good unit to learn for sure. It's very powerful, but it's also a unit that kind of introduces you to some meaningful micro with the Snake, because it is important to tag the right targets with the Snake. So if you are kind of practicing using the Snake, you're building up some good micro skills. Where the Chameleon has a lot of outplay. The Chameleon has a lot of like esports potential. Keep it up with that. It's a little bit like a Fox, where you can make a lot of plays with Chameleons. They're sneaky, you can go in and attack a base and that kind of stuff. Ooh, Zen trying to bait him into some mines here. One mine goes off, but it's not super impactful. And Melvin's getting a little bit of momentum here. Gonna be able to knock out this mill. Good job keeping these toads back. Don't want to waste the toads on the mills. It's okay for toads to ram into warrens. Like, that's fine. And there are actually we kind of go like big Kappa poggers when we see toads hitting mills, but it's a little bit of a meme kind of thing. It can be done effectively. You know, there are actual situations where you're not memeing and like you can sneak 11 toads and kill a fully saturated base. I mean, that's big value. That's big cash money. But generally, you don't want to do that. Alright. Couple toads getting the connections here. Zen not in the best spot. Losing a pig. You know, losing that forward base. Melvin's been taking some good engagement so far. Pretty scrappy game, which is a little bit sad because we do have some cool potential in this game to scale into the late game. Well, let's see it. Melvin thinking about it. All right, gonna push in. Some great toad hits there. But Zen's got enough. He can't just push through. But this is why attacking is so much better than defending. Like, yeah, defender's advantage is a thing, but I would still argue attacking is better because, I mean, think about the engagement we just saw there. Like, you know, let's say they traded armies perfectly evenly. Well, Melvin got a pig too, you know? So that's why it's so important to try to keep the front lines of the enemy base. Because it's like, yeah, you trade armies, but then I also kill a warren. Or I also kill a pig. And rinse and repeat that a few times, and it's enough damage for a victory. Hey, Yeti! Thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Alright, Melvin clearing out those mines there. Zen grabbing this campfire. Campfire is a great tool to just kind of continue on one base for a bit longer. Not as popular nowadays because taking two bases is really standard. But if you're doing like a one base all in or something like that, just want a little extra juice, campfires are great for that. And yeah, Melvin's gonna get into some Falcons, so Melvin's got a dominating lead in this match. Looking around for anything cheeky, looking around for a tier 3 Warren or something like that. Lots of mines coming out. Oh, nice control here by Melvin, just sending that single Falcon over. Wants to make sure to bring it home, though. Yeah, okay. Doesn't quite get the campfire, but nice try. And this is kind of Melvin's game to lose. I mean, he's ahead on army. He's ahead on economy. He's ahead on tech. Zen's got to pull a rabbit out of a hat here. You know, maybe a surprise boar or something like that, but even still, that wouldn't work because the Falcons will gun down that boar pretty effectively. Alright, Melvin pushing in, just going to try to end this, and that should be enough damage. I feel like Melvin should be able to take that to the win. There it is. Melvin going to move forward, losing 1 life, but keeping 2 for the additional bosses. Where are we at? We've got a couple more matches for y'all today. Again, happy July 4th, everybody. In America. And happily, you know, a happy July 4th to those not in America. You know, we're having fun over here. We're gonna set off some fireworks, drink some cheap beer, and eat some burgers the American way. Alright, so we got Rush coming up next. And this is stage 3, so that's what we just did here against Zen. Kind of a more normal stage. Just kind of got to lore pick your animals based on what groups they belong to. Let me just dig up Rush in the standings here. 1 life left for Rush. That's right. That's why we only have 1 replay here. So Rush has really got to win this, or they're out of the event. Cool. Cool. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, we got Tooth and Tail Talks coming up with Tander Draco in about an hour 20. So, too far away for me to give him the host, but keep that in mind, guys. Check that out a little bit later. We got Rush on the right-hand side. We got Zen on the left-hand side. And Zen not with the standard squirrel, toad, pigeon, badger thing that they've been doing. Rush. Oh, I love Rush's deck. I love Rush's deck here. I think this is another fun deck. I don't think it's like top tier, you know, but I think it's really fun when it comes together. And again, I think you could take Rush's deck here and just swap out that mine for like a lizard or a toad, and you got the idea. Or a fox if you want to be crazy. But Cam Falcon scale really nicely, and then they also probably benefit the most from the wolf buff out of any other unit. Like if you give I can talk, I swear. If you give these guys the stem buff from the wolf, pretty much buffing the movement speed and the attack speed, I mean, they just put out so much damage. And it really helps too with the chameleons to get like the surface area, you know, get into the right position, find the right tile, all that kind of stuff with the extra movement speed. I like this little scout mine from Zen. Let them know if an attack is coming out earlier on. Nice little scout there, see what's going on. 8 farm double, nothing crazy yet. Rush gonna sell off single Warren though, get into the expansion. Meanwhile, Zen's got the expansion up and running. And it might have been an 8 farm double that he sold one in the Delta farm or something like that, or he might have just gone 8 farm single into a mill. Yeah, I think Cam Falcon Wolf is super core for sure, Jen. I'm just not sure like how it really competes with the I guess Boar Toad. Like, I haven't really played it in a good bit. The last time I was really paying attention, it was like Boar Toad, or Owl Snake, right? Were some of the big comps. I'm not sure how it competes with that kind of stuff in the hyper late game. But I don't think this is one of those decks that... Well, I could be wrong. I mean, it could scale into the hyper late game really hard. You build a couple wolves. You know, you have like 8 cams and like 14 falcons or something like that. Snake skunk, yeah. Yeah, snake skunk owl, exactly. Okay, so we got a boar on the way from Zen. Has it been scouted is the question. We actually have a macro game. We haven't seen a whole lot of these today. Rush has not scouted it. Got that little mine there. But I remember last time I was playing really actively, like earlier this year, I was doing a lot with Cam Falcon Wolf, and it's just really fun to play. Really good spot for the boar as well. So this is a proper mid-game, you know. Kind of had that gentleman's agreement early game. Nothing crazy. No big trades. So we have these big, chunky armies with high army values here. But the boar is here. And now Rush had to have expected something, right? Like, he didn't scout. But you're not going to be super surprised to see a tier 3 when you're at this phase of the game. Does have some falcons to try to gun this down, but yeah, without any like snakes or without their own tier 3 and with so much tier 1, I mean, I really feel like this this board just kind of blindsided Rush, unfortunately. And that's the importance of scouting in the game. Rush was playing completely fine. Like, what Rush was doing was a very natural evolution into the big game. But the problem was Rush just kind of slacked a little bit on the scouting and hadn't really done some deep dives into Zen's base to see what was going on. And Zen just kind of got him with the blindsiding boar. And, you know, boar pushes are some of the stronger timing attacks in the game, especially if you're not prepared for it. So if Rush would have scouted that board, they could have gone down on the squirrels, they could have gone up on the falcons, and maybe it probably would have been able to survive it. That's going to be it. Zen will knock Rush out here of the event. That brings us to the final match or 2 of the night. We've got Satoros coming up against Zen Satoros, been in the scene for a good amount of time. Also a StarCraft player. We have a lot of StarCraft players in the scene for Tooth and Tail. It kind of makes sense. I mean, Tooth and Tail is not as popular as it should be as a game. It's a very good game. So it's a little bit of a niche game, small game, you know. And, I mean, who's going to find it? RTS enthusiasts, right? And if you're an RTS enthusiast, what are you most likely playing? StarCraft. So anyways, and Tooth and Tail is a really fun game as an RTS player. If you play, or Age of Empire 2, I guess I should throw that in there. Age of Empires 2 is actually a really relevant mainstream RTS. I guess Warcraft 3 as well. So those are about your options, but Tooth and Tail is nice. You get that RTS experience, but it's a little more casual. You know, you're not moving 300 actions per minute, stuff like that. Kind of have a beer, play it with your controller. All right. So, last set of the nights. Set of the day. I have about 2 hours of talking before I just... before my brain stops being able to put words together properly. On the left side, we've got Zen. On the top right, Satoros. Okay, so Zen is back to the Badger build. I wonder if these were not chronological. And there's no expectation there would be, but I wonder if this was like before. Like Zen was still refining, still on this like squirrel-toed Badger style, and then eventually kind of flipped over to the boar. Yeah, what Satoros is running here, I think, is another like solid core. Like the toad boar kind of hits. We saw that with really good success in the latest Tooth and Tail Championship Grand Finals. Let me see. I'm gonna get this right. Who was it? No. Oh man, I'm messing everything up. I'm like blanking on their name, but I'll get it in a second. Who was in the last Grand Finals? I'm trying... I don't know why I can't find my videos. There it is. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Got an attack coming in here from Satoros. Let's see if Zen... Seems like they'll be able to deal with it, no problem. I can't find it off the top of my head. Oh, I can look on the Discord. That's where I should look. Not the Duel Championship. Again, too many Discords. Tooth and Tail Championship. Here we go. Oh, it was... I think it was Meek. Wasn't it Meek? Meek was doing this a lot in the previous Tooth and Tail Championship, using these like boar toad attacks. Jeez, way too much research for a point that didn't even matter. Yeah, because I remembered it was like a player that had kind of... Meek has such a weird style. I wonder if he's taking a break or if he's still active, but you would never know what you were... I remember me and Meek were both active on the ladder at the same time for a phase. And you just run into Meek and have no idea what they're going to do. So we might actually have a macro game here. Well, let's see. Zen is kind of presenting this like a macro game, but building up to the Badger. Oh, there it is. I was like, where the hell is that Badger? Badger has been spotted by Satoros, by the way. And I don't know if this is the right... Okay. Satoros doesn't want to fight the Badger. Satoros is just going to try to move in right here, right now. I think if Satoros was going to prep for the Badger, it would have been like 4 Falcons. I think 4 Falcons probably would have done it, maybe 6. Oh, Meek's waiting for a bug to get resolved on Mac. Okay. Yeah, Meek was a really good, really innovative player, but kind of used a deck that Satoros is piloting here, really similar to great success in the last Tooth and Tail Championships. Alright, Satoros trying to get in on this Badger Warren. I like the idea of a 2 toads is not going to be enough. Gets the main base. So Satoros won't be able to prevent the badger from spawning, but probably did enough damage anyways. Alright, it's Zen, man. This is the last stand. Zen's just gotta make magic happen, and a badger can pull a rabbit out of a hat. Just needs some good control. Now, if you're Satoros, you actually want to kill these pigeons first. Oh yeah, Satoros just has overwhelming units here. That is that. Satoros will be able to come in for the rest of it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the last match of the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's always fun hanging out with everybody. It's great to see everybody chilling, checking out the VODs. I will be back, most likely, for the next episode. You know, I want to let other casters pick it up if they want to, but if nobody else wants to, I'll be back for episode 15 in about a week or two, I'd imagine. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Happy 4th of July. And Tander Draco is going to go live in about an hour with Tooth and Tail Talks. Kind of like a podcast show talking about what's going on in the scene and stuff. So let's hang out on Tander's stream then. Until then, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your weekend. If you're an American, happy 4th of July. And you know what? Even if you aren't an American, happy 4th of July. We'll catch you next time, everybody. Take care.